Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, cool. I think it's those lights. All right, maybe one day I'll actually go ahead and clean that, which would be a good thing, right? So, welcome everyone. Happy Friday, right? Or if it's happy Friday for everyone. Those lights. You know what? I would probably look like a parent right now and putting my tongue on a napkin and wiping it. So let's save us all that embarrassment. Okay, so a couple of good things. So the email this morning, and stop me when you've heard this before, right? Is again saying one day. Now, hey Renee, yeah, happy Friday. It's funny, I don't really know what Friday is. I tried to take my son to school today. I was like, oh, it's Friday, and he's 18 months. He doesn't really know what Friday is. But I was like, oh, and get to spend the whole weekend with mommy and daddy, and he kind of smiled a little bit and reminded me of like what life was like when Friday was okay. The week is over. Now I could actually spend Saturday and Sunday. I'll be right here with you. But that's another story for another day. So, yeah, so the email this morning again, give me one more day. And I guess what's kind of cool is it builds up a little bit of excitement. I mean, of course, to those that know Rhino, it builds up a little bit of frustration. But to those that are trying to figure out what's going on, it does build up a little excitement. And in those emails, so we have a whole bunch of emails that we haven't sent out to anyone yet. And those email addresses we have not included in these emails just yet, because we don't ever want to send our first email to someone saying, hey, check us out tomorrow, and then do that 3 days in a row. So in terms of any damage done, the answer is zero. Now, the reason being that is taking so long is the fact that, so I jumped, so the Salesforce curriculum that we built out on Rhino Hub, because it was built in real time, right? Like I was actually going through the course. Oh, wow. Oh, Frida, that's awesome. Um, Renee, the actual execution of the plan is, yeah, that's definitely where it gets a little sticky. Thank you, Renee. Because I was actually going through the Salesforce curriculum. Because again, in Rhino fashion, we don't ever want to say, hey, do this. And I just want to get that light out of there. We don't ever want to say, go ahead and do this. And, we can't even do it ourselves. So me knowing nothing about Salesforce, I went through our own curriculum. So I'm actually learning it and teaching it at the same time. Hey, Deborah. And in doing so, all of the recording that we did, we went ahead, put it into email sequences, and it went to the person the day of. Sorry, that light is really just bothering me. Went to the person the day of. So by the time we completed the Salesforce stuff, any individual that was joining was getting an email a day for 4 weeks in a row. And the email would be like, hey, welcome to day 2 and blah, blah, blah. Here's the videos you need. Here's this that you need. Here's that. And it was all done so that for instance, anyone that would have received those emails would have had the same exact experience that I went through. So and we passed, right? But that does not go ahead and justify, hey, listen, this is the experience I went through, and it really was very, 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 what's the word I'm looking for? Very rustic. That's a nice word for saying messy. It was very rustic, therefore it should be the same for you. So what we wanted to do was edit all the videos, get all the answers, put it in a nice, neat format, find all the videos that somebody would need, put them in order, put the registration link, give a link for the person once they get registered to contact Rhino, and let it be just one email, because who wants to receive an email 4 or 5 weeks in a row? And actually, more to the point of that, so you might say, hey, Aunt, you email me every day. Well, you want to receive it, right? And that's fine. But for someone that just opts into something, the email every day might be something where they're like, oh, I opted in. Now you're just emailing me every day. I don't want that. So we don't want to do that. The point of this long story is we finished that all yesterday. So now, and anyone that was in Rhino Hub received the email yesterday. Anyone that joined Rhino Hub is going to receive the email immediately. Hey, welcome. This is what you need. It'll give them the link directly to the hub, in which case on the hub, actually, can I just show you this stuff? Let me see. If I was that button, where would I be? I know you can see me. I am pulling it up as we speak, and then we can talk. I miss having all of my screens. Okay, so let me do, what is this? What did I just do? Meeting information, I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna do share screen. Okay, So let me minimize this. Hide floating menu, open this up. I'm going to log in as admin because I'm an admin. All right, so now when you come to Rhino Hub, what you'll see is this for the first time, Salesforce User Experience Designer. Now this was inside of career training certificates under certification programs, right? If you would have clicked that, then you would have had to have gone to Salesforce. And for us, that makes sense, right? Because we thought we were going to do all of them, and this would be the first one, and this is where you find it. But on second thought, it sounds cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs that we would go ahead and spend the time to do every single one of these. In fact, let's offer all of them so anybody that wants to go ahead and do that, the resources are there. But in terms of what we're offering you, and again, it's all free, right? So our time is valuable. We're offering you the Salesforce one. So what we decided to do is let's go ahead and organize it and put it right up here, Salesforce User Designer. So here's a provided curriculum. You could go to Salesforce right there, boom. Okay, the study guide. Well, here's all the chapter quizzes, every single quiz. Watch. So for every single quiz that we did, we cut it all up and put it into one long video, a little Havana music behind it. If you like a mojito and a cigar, both of which, well, mojitos I like, no cigars. But okay, but you get the point. Gives you all the answers. And that took, well, if you can imagine, what's it? We did 27 videos, each one over 2 hours, to go through each one of them to find the exact portion where we're taking the quizzes, cut them all up, edited and put together. Took some time, put some music behind it, whatever. And then V, who is a complete all-star, did the same, but on the other end. Instead of cutting up the videos, she went into each video, looked at the questions, and put together the answer sheet. So you have the answer key right here where you could download. And just take my word for it. I don't really feel like downloading it right now. Then after that, I went through every single part of it, and the flashcards that we were using throughout each module, I had a certain sense of which questions were which flashcards were valuable, which were not. Then we went through all the quizzes, and then I took the actual exam. So I don't know every question, but I know the format of the question. I know which ones are likely. Long story short, we then put together the flashcard set. Now, this flashcard set has 600 flashcards. The quiz, or the certification, has 6D test questions. Meaning, not only did we go through every quiz, not only did we go through every module, not did we go through every single study guide, not only did we pass the certification, we now took all that information and put it on 10 times the amount of questions that you would ever actually get on the test. Between you and I don't want to say this out loud, if you just did the flashcards, if you just studied the flashcards for like a week, you'd pass the certification. Now, does that help anyone? Not really, because you don't really know how to do the hands-on stuff. Because remember, when someone hires you to do a job, they're not saying, hey, listen, can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? Great, you answered the questions right, thanks. You actually have to go do it. But in terms of getting this certification, can I feel quite confident that we can get this in everyone's hands? Now this, yeah, and the answer is yes. And of course, once you have the certification, you can go ahead and get a job based on it. So before we show you that, so you have all the discovery, right? Like all the links. This is the deep dive, which is all of our videos. The deep dive, which is our videos, and then partner videos. Human-centered divide, deep dive. And this is all the videos we actually did. So it's the raw videos. So if you want to do a deep dive, there it is. Declarative design, which is a very long section. But everything's right there for you. All the quiz answers. This was a lot of hands-on modules, so you actually have to watch us do it and then do it yourself. But you can do it. It's all there for you. And then the last section. And of course, this stays on the screen, shows you that we passed. Okay, great. You did the study guide. Now go do your registration. Here it is. Schedule now. And upon passing your certification, feel free to share your success with us. Exciting opportunities await you. If you pass, we're going to hire you, right? So there it is, because we're still going to be bringing on the contracts from the other companies. Now, we haven't done it yet, but again, everything is, we're building. You could see it right here now. To that point, average available jobs, 100,000 plus current listings. These are all remote only jobs. So Zoom Recruiter, or ZipRecruiter, if I could read properly, as of yesterday, 6,755 jobs are located in the entire US of 95,000 plus. Now, when this says remote, it means they're hiring you from your home, which means it does not matter where you are. If you have this certification And you can go over here and apply. Look, we pressed the button. Now there's 7,900 jobs. That's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and press this button. Oh, cool. You're going to offer me 130 to 155,000 a year. Okay, this is who you are. This is what you do. Blah, blah, blah. Salesforce. Okay, let's go through this. Remote. This is your responsibilities. Okay, great. And honestly, guys, I don't want to do this, but I'm going to just do it. Because sometimes even I get frustrated how easy this stuff is. All right. Copy. Write me the perfect application, letter, and resume to apply for this job. I mean, guys, I sometimes don't want to, like, sometimes I feel like I need to get sock puppets, and it's not you. It's actually me, because here at Rhino, we're doing everything for free. It's all because we're building this stuff to go ahead and empower everyone else in that community. Will all participate through the ownership of Rhino Bucks, which equals the value that we own and everyone owns. But we have GPT-4 in our search engine. You can go do this right now on rhinostreet.com. You could upload everything I just gave you, put it here, and you know what you could then do? You could then take this, copy and paste it, and put it in your application to that company. Do you think you won't get hired? Do you think if you did that 8,000 times, you won't get one of those $100,000 jobs? Right? Okay, so look, it's all right there. Encloses my resume, which highlights my qualifications and accomplishments, which I believe closely align with the requirements of this role experience. I have this, I have this. In fact, I might actually go ahead and apply to that company today, right? So just to kind of, not that I'm showing off, but guys, we have it. And I don't mean like I'm yelling at you. I'm just, I guess, yelling out loud. Where is what I was just doing? I had it, I'm losing my mind. I think I am. So I was over here. Okay. So that's ZipRecruiter. So now you could go back and you could do the same, and you could do the same. Or you could go back and say, all right, well, that's ZipRecruiter. What about Indeed? Well, yesterday Indeed had 1,585 jobs. LinkedIn had 138, no, 6,697. And then Salesforce.group is a URL that we own coming summer 2023, where we're going to have our agency, where we're going to hire our clients, and then we're going to distribute hours to our team members. And of course, those hours will be billed at 120, 130 an hour. Our team members will get 100 an hour, and that margin will go to the ownership of Rhino Bucks, so that there's a constant stream buying, buying, buying. If we have 10 people doing it, I don't know, 10 hours a week, it comes out to 100 hours times a $20 margins, $200, right? So an extra $200 in buying, and then an extra $400, and an extra, you get the point. So anyway, that's what we did yesterday. So I had to go ahead and complete that. Good morning. You're a rock. No, you're totally cool. Hey, Joe. Joe, actually, yeah, I do want to do the RVP meeting today, and I feel bad. I'm going to do it. Even if I don't have much to share, we're doing it today, because I can't keep pushing that off. And I miss Joe. Joe's like one of the best people you could ever meet. So the point is, that's what we finished yesterday. So what we do need to do today is actually do that email, which then goes ahead and values more Rhino Bucks. In which case, I think I just want to kind of just get out there and say, hey, guys, listen. This is what we're doing. This is why it's important. If you go ahead and join us, you could have this, do a video of myself. I'll script it and then I'll speak it clearly. But to have something that can excite new ownership, because I think a lot of what we're not doing is focusing so much on the building, like I'm showing you, that we're risking, being found with a loaded gun. It's just saying, you don't ever want to be found dead with a loaded gun, like you should have used it. So that's where we're at the moment. Rhino Bucks, we went ahead and put more into, we brought more supply onto the market yesterday, only $600 worth, but that was the sell order. It was by me, which, see, it's not exactly a sell order. Like, the proceeds don't go to me. How that works is the supply that's in the Rhino wallet, like the big one, then gets pushed into the marketplace. But to get pushed into the marketplace, it needs to sell half of it so that the proportions go, right? So when you sell half of it is in Rhino bucks, goes into the market, and half of it goes in as cash. So it equals that. It equals the backing, the support of how each Rhino buck is valued, I guess, right? So whenever you see a sell order like a large one from me, it's not that the proceeds are going to me; it's that the proceeds are going into the marketplace in a balanced way, which is the coin and the cash at the same time. So that's that. The bot, I'm going to be working with the team today. We have 822 questions and answers. And I tried explaining this. I don't know if I did it on the live yesterday. I think I was doing it with my wife. So I get to someone. And I think I think it was my wife. I mean, I really don't talk to that many people in the day, but let's just say it was her, right? No, it wasn't. I was talking to someone. I was giving the example of a pencil. Oh, my doctor. I was like, who am I talking to? I was like, it was a girl. Who? What other girls do I talk to? My doctor. And she was like, oh, that sounds amazing. Like this bot, how does it do what you're talking about? Like, oh, let's pretend you're selling a pencil, right? Well, there's only so many questions somebody would ask about the pencil. Like, hey, does it write? Is it number two? Is it number one? Does it have lead in it? How's the eraser? What's like, there's questions. But if you were able to go ahead and identify every question anyone could ever ask, and then come up with a corresponding answer that is best suited to address their concern, offer them a benefit, and suggest that they purchase it right there, well, then conceivably, if you were able to automate that, this automation would be able to sell as many pencils as possible to anybody willing to buy a pencil, anyone that thought of buying a pencil. I go on top of it. She goes, well, what if somebody says something that's kind of closely related to a question you came up with, but a couple of words are different? I go, well, that's the great part. Because we have access to the highest level AI with Elon Musk OpenAI, and we have the highest level of access with AI as it pertains to Microsoft and Azure, and that comes together. We have a cognitive AI that puts it together, which means it's the cognition is machine learning. It's able to think on its own. So if someone says, hey, listen, I really want to buy a pencil yesterday, so I'll do it today. Like that makes zero sense almost. Well, kind of, but who would ever phrase a question that way? We would have never thought to phrase a question that way. The AI will be like, oh, they wanted to buy it yesterday. They want to buy it. Oh, okay. Yeah, yesterday would have been a great day to buy it. But you know what the better day is? Today, because here we are today. Here you go. And obviously that would be a combination of the sales we put into it, but also a combination of the cognition where the AI could think for itself. Now, in crafting these 822 questions and answers, it was not crafted with Anthony sitting here saying, okay, I'm going to write this and then I'm going to do this. Some of it was. But it was going back into the vault of all the known material we have of the greatest salesman of all time, right? So there's a guy, Joseph Girard, who is widely known as the greatest salesman ever. He actually won that Guinness Book of World Records award 12 years in a row. He was a used car salesman in the 1950s and 60s. I think he sold like 35 million cars in like 12 years, or 350,000, whatever a reasonable number is. And so he came out with books, he had seminars, they all been transcribed. So when I go ahead and start grabbing his stuff and putting it in and building questions with his technique into it and the answers with his technique, and then I say, go ahead and format this in the style of this person and blah, 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 or how would this person answer this objection? Take that and multiply it by all the greatest salesmen ever, whether it's Zig Ziglar, Mary Kate, Jordan Belfort, stockbrokers, this broker, car salesman, cult leaders, then you're going to be able to come up with a really, really well crafted library, I guess, of questions and answers. So that is what the bot is going to be. So we're still working on that. In fact, I've had a little frustration with my team, which I never really share out loud, but there's some things that I don't understand. Well, there's a lot of things I don't understand. But tech is one of them in terms of like the super duper tech that our team is far more equipped than I to do on the back end type of stuff. So with the Microsoft bot that we're building, we have to take all of this and upload it into it, which actually took me, I want to say like 7 hours to go through all of our stuff and then put it in 2-column format, question and answer, and then move it over into a CSV format, which I don't mean to make that sound complicated. You press one button, export to CSV. But to get everything onto that sheet was a lot because it's, again, 822, and then I'm getting ideas as I'm doing it. And long story short, 10 a.m. turned into 4 p.m. I think that was Wednesday. So since Wednesday, our team has had this. And what I learned yesterday was, oh, I'm having difficulty uploading it. It's giving me error messages, and I'm trying to troubleshoot it on Google, which, by the way, I just say we have AI. Can you just go ask the bot? But whatever. And then I had spoken to a team later in the evening, and they're like, "Oh, we're still having problems with it." So we're gonna get together today. Now, this is where my frustration comes in, and it's completely irrational, right? Like in the prism of my thinking, when I see the button upload, I think press the button, upload it. Now I think that when an error message comes out, it says something like, "Hey, this is why it can't be uploaded." In which case, I will go ahead and correct that. And if I was unable to do this for an hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours, I don't even know. I would just find a way. So I kind of expressed that. And my team's like, I don't understand why you think this is easy. This is complicated stuff. And I realized that I was going over the realm where I was kind of talking about stuff that maybe I don't know as well. So today we're going to do a really wonderful Socratic method on our call today, where I'm going to say, walk me through it. Like, I don't want to open my mouth. Let me learn everything about it. But to the point of what I'm sharing with you, I wanted to have it being able to be tested today, but 3 days have gone by in terms of how to upload something. And if you're having difficulty uploading it, it doesn't stand fair to suggest that the rest is going to go easy. So that is me sharing well, I guess I have no hair to begin with, but if I had hair, I would have no hair today. Um, so that's that. That's kind of everything. So things are going well. I want to get that email going because I do want to start contacting people and start building the ecosystem in a much larger fashion. Now that we have all the assets coming to place, like the Salesforcing is done. It's done. It's finally done. You just saw it. It's done. In fact, I should have just recorded me doing that because if I could show someone, hey, go over to Rhino Street and copy and paste a resume, well, actually, then I'm sure somebody at some point would say, can you actually, that's what I said. Brooks, it's almost like, it's almost like how doctors don't think they could ever get sick. The tech team that we have is the one that built the GPT into it. So it's almost like they're like, well, I built this there, so I don't actually talk to it. It's almost like they would never go to their child to ask how to do, making a window if they taught them to make a window. But I think what they don't realize is it's not really their child. It's kind of like they adopted Superman. So I promise you on our call today, I will leave no stone unturned. And that's the nicest way I could say to what I want to do on that call today. But Brooks, to your point, yes, that was like my first suggestion because everything, like my wife the other day or yesterday was like, Anthony, I was a total superhero today. Someone said this, I went on to Rhino, did this, this, this. I sent it to them, they're like, oh my God, you're so smart. And I was like, you're welcome. So, all right, let me go. Love, love, love everyone. 23 minutes, Travis. And I'll see you all later.